Good morning, children. Today we will revise chapter motion. Since we have completed the first term syllabus, in first term we have motion and second chapter is forces and laws of motion. So we will revise the chapters. First, we will discuss about motion. So in the last class, so far I remember, for periodic test we have revised, but for those students who are unable to understand the chapter, I am again revising it. First of all, you must learn the important definitions. You must know what is rest and what is motion. So rest, when what is rest? First, try to define it. So we can say that when a body does not changes its position with respect to time or with respect to its immediate surrounding, it is said to be at rest. Then the motion is just opposite of it. That we can say that when a body is changing its position with respect to time or with respect to its immediate surrounding, then it is said to be in motion. Then we have discussed that rest and motion are relative terms. Relative terms, it means if an object is at motion, it may be at rest for some other person. In the same way, if something is at rest, it may be in motion for the observer who is observing you from another place. For example, if you are sitting in a classroom, we say that you are at rest, but someone observing you from another planet, he feels that you are in motion due to motion of the earth, isn't it? Similarly, so it depends on observer whether the things are at rest or in motion. So rest and motion are relative terms. And we have discussed another example also. Suppose you are sitting in a train, you are in a rest with the things which are present in your compartment. For example, with respect to other passengers, with respect to the fan, with respect to the sleepers. But someone who is standing outside, he feels that yes, you are in motion due to motion of the train. So rest and motion are relative terms. Then the next topic is how to describe motion. Now, how to describe motion, in this topic we have learned that origin is essential to locate or to describe the position of an object. In your book, an example is given. In that example, they are assuming that a school in a village is 2 kilometers north from the railway station. So, where is the school? It is 2 kilometers north, and from where? From the railway station. So, the railway station is the reference point or the origin. So, a reference point or origin is essential to describe the motion of an object. Then we are talking about motion along a straight line, because motion along a straight line is simplest type of motion. So in this topic, motion along a straight line, let us discuss it once again. Motion along a straight line. So we will draw this diagram, a very important diagram to understand the concept of what origin is, what distance is, and what displacement is. So let object start moving from O t. So suppose this mark is 55 and this is 60. So it start moving from point O, it reaches to point A. Suppose this is the end point A, then it returns back, it crosses a point B and finally reaches to point C. So suppose an object is moving along a straight line, isn't it? And let ABC represent the position of object at different instant. It means at different time. At first the object moves through C and B and it reaches to point, finally reaches to point A. Then it moves along the same path and crosses B and finally reaches to C. Then what will be the distance covered by the object? So distance, as we have learned earlier, distance is the actual length of the path. So if you will calculate, O to A is 60 kilometer. So 60 kilometer, then it returns back, it crosses B and finally reaches to C. So 60 to 25, this distance is how much? So it is 5, then 10, then 15, then 20, 25, 30 and then 35. So 60 plus 35. So 95 kilometer is the distance. But if we will talk about displacement, so displacement is the straight line distance between initial and final position, isn't it? Displacement is shortest or straight line distance between initial and final position. So initial position is O. O is the initial position or origin or reference point, because the object start moving from point O. So O is the initial position and it goes to point A, crosses B and finally reaches to C. So C is the final position here. So O is initial position and C is final position. And this distance is how much? 25 kilometers. So this is displacement. So must make a clear concept of distance and displacement. What distance is? Distance is the length of actual path travelled by a body, whereas displacement is shortest straight line distance between initial and final position. You should know the difference between these two, because you can get questions that differentiate between distance and displacement. So first thing, you will write the definitions. That distance is actual length of the path, whereas displacement, you write the definition for displacement. Then you can say that distance is scalar quantity. whereas displacement is vector quantity. This distance is scalar and displacement is vector. Scalar means some physical quantities are completely described by their magnitude. Some physical quantities or you can write physical quantities which are completely described by their magnitude. For example, you can say area, volume, temperature, distance, speed, etc. So, some physical quantities which are completely described by their magnitude are known as scalar quantities. And for example, I have written area, volume, temperature. If you will measure the area, you should not need to mention the direction of area, volume, isn't it? Only magnitude is sufficient to describe. For example, if we are writing area is 100 meter square. So this 100 is magnitude. The numerical value is called magnitude, and this meter square is the unit. So only magnitude is required to describe these physical quantities. Then we have vector quantities. So some physical quantities, or you can write physical quantities which are described by their magnitude as well as direction. For example, you can write force, displacement, velocity, etc. So when we are talking about force, you must mention the direction, that in which direction force is applied. So if we are saying a force of 100 Newton is acting, so it is acting in which direction? If you will mention the direction, then the meaning of this term is complete. So force is a vector quantity because only magnitude is not sufficient to describe it. You have to mention the direction. Similarly, displacement is vector quantity, velocity is also vector quantity. So these are the concepts about distance and displacement, scalar and vector quantities. Now you will get numericals based on distance and displacement. We have discussed so many numericals earlier, but I want to discuss some more questions based on distance and displacement. For example, suppose there is a question, you know the directions. I think that this is north, south, east and west. So suppose a man is moving towards east, covers a direction of suppose 4 kilometers towards east, then he take a right turn, he travels a distance of 3 kilometers towards north, then again take a right turn and he moves towards east. Again, suppose he travels a distance of 5 kilometers. So what will be the distance and displacement? So distance, it is simple to calculate distance. You simply add the distances travelled by him, that is 4 plus 3 plus 5. So you can say the distance covered by him is 12 kilometers. Now if you will look at the figure, he start moving from this point. You can mark this point as O, and suppose he reaches to this point, you can mark this point A, B, C like this. So O is the initial position and finally he reaches to point C. O is origin or initial position and C is final position. So how to calculate displacement? Simply you will join these 2 points with a straight line, isn't it? You will take a scale, you join these 2 points with a straight line and measure the length of OC. So displacement is equal to length of line OC. So if you will measure this distance, you can calculate the displacement. I think it is clear to you. Now some other questions. Question number 2, that suppose an object is moving in a circular path. Suppose an object is moving in a circular path of radius r. Suppose the radius of path is r. And suppose it starts moving from point A. So if I ask what will be the distance and displacement after 2.5 round, what will be the distance and displacement? So one complete round means circumference of the circle. So distance covered in one round, it will be equal to circumference of the circle. Now as you know, circumference of the circle is how much? 2 pi r. So in one round 2 pi r. Now how many round it completes? 2.5 round. So distance covered in 2.5 round will be 2 pi r into 5 by 2. So 2 cancel. So we can write 5 pi r. Simple. 2 pi r in one round. In second round again 2 pi r. 2 pi r plus 2 pi r, 4 pi r, and then half round simply pi r. So 4 pi r plus pi r. So it will be 5 pi r distance. And what about displacement? For displacement, you have to find out the final position. The initial position is given. It starts moving from point A. So what will be the final position after 2.5 round? So in first round, it reaches to point A to A, so displacement is 0 because initial and final positions are same. In second round, again when it completes its another round, it reaches to point A, so again displacement is 0 because initial and final positions are same. Then half round, so it starts for third round, it starts moving from point A and reaches to this point B, isn't it? So point B is it is diametrically opposite to A. So you have to calculate this distance. So displacement is equal to AB, and AB is diameter of the circular path. So diameter of circular path is r plus r, so 2r, or we can write d, that is diameter of the circle. So displacement is simply length of line AB. In NCERT book, some good questions are given based on distance and displacement. We will discuss these questions again. So, first question is question number, page 100. Page 100. We will discuss these questions once again. First, an object has moved through a distance. Can it have zero displacement? If yes, support your answer with an example. So now we have seen that if an object is moving in a circular path, suppose it is moving in a circular path of radius r. So if it has moved some distance, suppose it starts moving from point A and returns to A. So distance will be simply 2 pi r distance, but displacement will be 0. In one round, isn't it? So an object has moved through a distance. Can it have zero displacement? Your answer will be yes. So in support, you can give this example, or this is first example, or you can give this example that suppose an object is moving in a straight line, it starts moving from point O, it reaches to point A, and let the distance between these 2 points is 5 kilometers, isn't it? So if it moves from O to A and return back to O, then distance O to A and return back to O. If we take this example, then distance will be 5 plus 5, so it will be 10 kilometer, and displacement will be 0 because O to A and A to O. So initial and final positions are same. Since the initial and final position are same, so either you can give this example or you can give this example. I think now you can answer this question. Now the second question. A farmer moves along a boundary of a square field of side 10 meter in 40 seconds. What will be the magnitude of displacement of farmer at the end of 2 minutes 20 seconds? So now we will discuss question number 2. In question number 2, it is given that a farmer is moving along a square field and the side of field is 10 meter. So suppose A, B, C, D is a square field and each side of this square field is 10 meter long. Now it is also given that a farmer moves along the boundary of a square field of side 10 meter in 40 seconds. He completes one round of it in 40 seconds. So according to question, the farmer completes one round of square field in 40 seconds. Isn't it? And they are asking what will be the magnitude of displacement of farmer at the end of 2 minutes 20 seconds. So you have to calculate the displacement at the end of 2 minutes 20 seconds. So time is given how much? 2 minutes 20 seconds. So 2 minutes, it means how many seconds? It will be 120 seconds plus 20 seconds. So we are converting total time into seconds. So it will be 140 seconds. Although we have done these questions, children, but for those students who are not serious earlier and those who are joining the classes late and those who are unable to understand the concepts, I am revising it once again because we have completed the syllabus. So give your full attention and try to understand the concepts and the numericals, because in class 8, as you know, the physics is totally different. You have to learn the things, and numericals are very less, very few. But here, after every 2-3 pages, we have numericals, that is application based physics, the theory which we are learning, that we have to apply in our day-to-day life to solve the numerical problems. So time is given 2 minutes 20 seconds. I change it into seconds. So total time is 140 seconds. and what you have to calculate? Displacement. What will be the displacement? Now let the farmer start moving from point A. Let the farmer start moving from point A. Isn't it? So how much round he will complete in 140 seconds, that you have to think. One round he completes in 40 seconds. So one round 40 seconds. Second round again 40 seconds. Third round again 40 seconds. Now 40, 40, 40. How many seconds? 120 seconds. If you will add, then how many seconds are left? Total time we have 140 seconds. So 20 seconds are left. So obviously, if he completes 3 rounds, he will be at A. If he starts moving from point A, so 3 complete round. So after 3 complete round, he will be at A. Now in 20 seconds, he will cover half distance of the field. Half distance, it means he will cover this side and this side only. These two sides are left. So A to B and B to C. So C is the final position. And so half round he will complete in 20 seconds. So if we will add, this side we have 3.5 round and this side 140 seconds. So we can say that in 140 seconds, in 140 seconds, farmer will complete 3.5 round and he will be at point C. So C is the final position, and as you know, A is the initial position. So displacement is initial, C is final position. So you have to join these 2 points with a straight line. So displacement is equal to length of line AC. Now ABC is a right angle triangle, as you know. In a square field or in a square, each angles are 90 degree. So we can write AC square is equal to AB square plus BC square. You all are familiar with Pythagoras theorem. So in a right angle triangle, the hypotenuse square is equal to base square plus perpendicular square. So I have written AC square is equal to AB square plus BC square. Now this can be written as, substitute the value, AB 10 square, BC again 10 square, so it will be 100 plus 100, so it will be 200. Now AC can be written as root over 200, and this can be written as 2 into 100. The square root of 100, as you know, it is 10. So 10 root 2 meter is the displacement. I think it is clear to you that how we are getting 10 root 2, the displacement. Then we will discuss question number 3. Which of the following is true for displacement? It cannot be 0. No, this statement is false. Displacement can be 0. Now we have seen that if initial and final positions are same, then displacement can be 0. It is possible in the examples which I have given in question number 1. Then second is its magnitude is greater than the distance traveled by the object. This statement is also false. Displacement is never greater than distance. It may be equal to distance, but never greater than distance. It is always less than or equal to distance. And I will give you some questions as homework. I will give the photograph of these questions. I will send it in WhatsApp. You must solve these questions based on distance and displacement. And in next class, we further discuss the chapters. Thank you.